I like the Suns tonight. I like them laying 6. I thought that spread was fat for how bad they've been playing this season early on and how good Minnesota has looked.
Not so fast. Midget. Yeah, little guy. Hey, not so fast.
This is the first game of Booker, Beal, and KD. This is their debut together.
Yeah, that's fucking beat. Fuck Bradley Beal. He is the worst. And I'm officially off of the Suns tonight. I honestly might even fade him. Justin Herbert, I'm just going to say it. He's mid. Dak Prescott. He's a coin respecter right now. He is. Jameis Winston now.
I feel like he could go in the go-to category just because he's Jameis.
You could tell last night. Kent State had no business winning that game. They were never winning that game. Shit bets. I cannot believe what my eyeballs witnessed on the court last night in the MAC. What the fuck, dude?
Took Nick Bosa over 0.75 sacks. So Baker's screwed. The offensive line is screwed. Nick Bosa is going to terrorize them.
Peace. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, on this beautiful Friday morning, presented by SeatGeek. If you guys are going to the games this weekend, if you're going to a game tonight, there's a couple on. Buy your tickets on SeatGeek. Why not? Use promo code BOOKIT for $20 off your first purchase. If you haven't cashed it in already, it takes 3 seconds to go into the promo tab and settings, plug it in, and you get a free $20. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Tap into some games. W sub bangs in the chat. We love to see it.
Oh, we got hella subbies.
Yeah, make sure to alert us to the sub bangs chat because we don't have those up.
I got them up.
Or you have them up.
I got them up.
Huge.
B Camp 5-piece. Hold the fry, Five Guys Burgers and Fries. We're going to craft up a Five Guys Burgers and Fries on this show today. We got Bert giving out a 5-piece. Let's fucking go, Bert.
Oh,
Let's go, Bert. We got Auto Gelato coming in, giving out a subby to $1.50. Love to see that. Sure. We got Degen Party at 57 coming in hot. Your table's ready. Join us. Love to see it. Let's fucking go, boys. We got sub bangs left and right. We don't have a squad ride W. Goots, let's fucking run the L recap. Hate to see it. It is what it is. Javon, the streak ends at 8.
it does.
We
It's a
take
good
an
run.
8-1 streak.
It's a good run.
We take an 8-1 streak. We move. Not perfect, not ideal. Would have loved to seen some more heart out of the Bucks last night. It seemed like the Pacers were playing for that 500K. Okay, they're trying to get their money up. I respect it. They showed immense effort. And honestly, Tyrese Halliburton is a fucking beast, and he's probably the most dialed player in the NBA right now.
So good.
He's unbelievable.
MVP level. Awesome watching him play, except for yesterday.
Sure. We got Moose 27-27 coming in with a sub bang. What's up,
Moose?
Moose? 19 months from Moose. Love to freaking see it. W's. Chat. Did you guys cash last night? Did you make your coins back from the squad ride on the Patriots plus 5.5? I hope you did, because that was the freest bet of all time.
Air.
Air.
Incredulous.
Two
Love to
words.
see that.
Air. Okay. Bill Belichick, if there's one thing I know about him, doesn't matter how bad or good the team is, he's beating the Steelers. He's beaten Mike Tomlin. Always has, always will. He did it again last night on the road with a worse team. It seems like Mitch Trubisky, though, might have been the worst player on the field.
Yeah, he sucks. He sucks. So I mean, I have a little more hope for Kenny Pickett than most, but I hope everybody sees just how much worse you can truly be in the Steelers offense.
Okay. You can be worse than Kenny Pickett. We've learned that now. W's, L squad ride, but W play on the Patriots. W prize picks 3-piece. Let's go ahead and flash this puppy up. Sure.
There we go.
Javon, not Mac Jones, Jesus, Bailey Zappi. More than half a pass and tutty. Was probably the greatest play on earth.
That was air. Yeah.
I mean,
Tommy DeVito vibes.
on the first drive. Tommy DeVito vibes, more than half a pass and tutty. Next thing you know, he's got 3. Unbelievable. Great game from Bailey Zappi, showing serious heart. Seems like they're probably going to roll with him the rest of the year, as they should. This 3-piece was surgical. Okay, this 3-piece smacked. 200 to win a rack, chat. Can we run that back today, Javon? I know the slate today is not immaculate. It's not beautiful.
Yeah, it sucks.
It ain't much, but it's honest work. We're going to do our best to find you guys a 3-guys or a 4-piece, whatever we can. We're going to put together something for you guys today. We're going to do Week 14 NFL preview today, talk about all the games we like. You guys know the drill. We'll finish up King of the Board. Javon had an elite day on King of the Board yesterday, right?
Kept me in it, yeah. I had the Pats and the
2-0.
Preds, and I took the Preds and Reg so I could get a little plus money winner.
Wow.
Get me closer, because I'm probably going to need a dog today, regardless, to keep me in it if you go undefeated.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have the units up yet, Goots, or are we still TBD on that? I don't see any U's on the bottom. Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, there's units.
Okay.
So I got what? I got a solid 0.8-ish to make up.
Yeah, you got some work to do.
Yeah.
You got some work to do. But if I don't go perfect my last 2 plays, then you are in business. And with the slate today,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough to go 2-0. But chat, anything is possible. Kevin Garnett said it. I still believe it. All right. We got Paddle Walk coming in hot with a subby. 9 months with the Goats. WBTL chat.
Let's go.
Always fuck Surge Stream chat. Love you, Javon and Krabs. Okay. Paddle Walk dropping the hammer. Gassing up the sharpest chat on earth.
There
BTL
we go.
chat. Love to see it. We got Davey Martinez's burner coming in.
There we go.
Dropping a sub bang. Happy Friday, boys. Happy Friday, Davey Martinez. Don't hit the bottle too hard today, my man. Some of those lineups you put out last year, I could tell you were. Shohei Ohtani probably getting moved today. I think you guys have probably heard enough about that on Twitter, wherever. We're not going to talk about that, but I will say he's probably going to be a Blue Jay.
I don't know. I don't believe it. I'll
believe it?
I'll believe it when I see it. I think
Dodgers?
Dodgers are just going to swoop in.
Okay. Chat, where do you think Shohei's going? Where is he dropping, boys? Where's he going? I think he's going to Toronto. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, Trent's already in piss. He said, just rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Just do it already. Get it done. He was in his freaking Ohtani fit and absolutely in piss.
Yeah, and Moose.
Brutal.
You hate to see it. So,
Let's go. We got a hype train level 4, chat.
Let's
Come
go.
on. Come on. Why not us? Love to fucking see it. No steamed crabs today. Probably would have been me bitching about the Bucks showing no heart and having no effort last night and getting worked by a bunch of kids out there who wanted 500 racks. And I don't blame them. Tyrese Halliburton, you're a fucking beast. You earned a win. Very excited to see how that play-in game or in-season tournament game goes, the championship tomorrow night, Pacers versus Lakers.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome game.
That's going to be elite. Okay, so we'll talk about that maybe a little bit towards the end of the show. We got a TMC sub bang. Let's fucking go TMC.
Huge.
3 months, keep stacking them. Love to see it. Chad, if you guys are in here for the first time, drop a follow on the Book It Sports Twitch account. Drop a sub so you don't have to watch the ads. Hit a parlay, sub up, little bro. That's simple. Okay. Goots, why don't we go and pivot to the Week 14 NFL preview? Let's talk some ball this weekend. Little Jalen Hurts clip in there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll be fading the fuck out of him this weekend.
Yep, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Javon, let's get it started off with the snooze fests of the weekend. NFL Week 14. It's sad. I mean, we're seeing college football wrap up here. NFL season absolutely flew by. We're already in the latter half of the year. Insane.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've got 2 snooze fests here we like. Javon, why don't you kick us off? Why do you like that Texans and Jets under?
Well, let me preface this first. When we're talking about unders this week, there's a lot of weather-affected games, whether it's wind, whether it's rain, whether it's a combination of both. So that's why there's a lot of low totals this week. With this one specifically, I think it's particularly low. I know you have the Jets offense involved, which last week we saw them, I think it was 13-8 against the Falcons in a game that I think was around a similar total. But the Texans coming in, I always say this about the Texans, when they play a team that plays a lot of man coverage, they struggle. And now they have their best zone beater out. So even if the Jets go to zone, they can't rely on Tank Dell, which they've used as a crutch in a lot of different situations. So outside of the fact that the Jets defense is just good and overall very solid, I think the Texans are going to approach this as more of a Dameon Pierce, Devin Singletary type game. And it's going to be low, slow, and not that I don't believe in the Texans offense to move the ball, but I think it's going to be enough book of chew for them to take this one pretty slow. But I also I don't know if the Jets can score in this game, which why when I see a plus 3.5 line, that makes me think if they're going to stay in this game somehow, some way, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be like a 16-13 type game. And I think the super low total, even with the weather involved, kind of signifies that.
Low total. Zach Wilson getting the rock back. Here's how I see this game playing out. You remember that game a couple years ago, Sam Darnold on the Jets, primetime seeing ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how CJ Stroud's going to look in this game. And I'm a CJ Stroud guy, all right? But just by looking at this lines, because remember, Chad, we bet lines, not teams. That's how we make money, and that's how we be smart and beat the books. Looking at this line, I mean, the Jets have no fucking business being plus 3.5 to anybody, let alone the Houston Texans, who are a very public team. They're goods. They're 7-5. They have a very cool young QB. Their defense is getting better every week. Their offense looks fucking sharp, a shiny new toy in the NFL. You're telling me Houston isn't worth a couple more points than that against the measly Jets and Zach Wilson? Okay. And that total's down 5 points. So how this game script's going to go is exactly how you described it. The Jets are going to cover. They're probably going to win this game outright in a low-scoring fashion, disgusting under game, take a nap during it. You're not going to want to watch it.
For what it's worth, I came up here a couple minutes before we started and asked Trent if he had any nukes for the weekend, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was the Texans.
Okay.
So,
well, you heard it here first, folks. Go and lock in the Jets and lock in that under. All right. I've got an under I like that I'm pairing with another bet in that game we're going to talk about later. Give me the under in the Jags and the Browns. This might surprise you. You think about these two teams where they're at right now with their QBs. You'd say, these teams aren't hitting overs recently. Well, I'll tell you what, the Jags are coming off an over in a game with their backup QB against another backup QB where they put up plenty of points. And then the Browns have actually hit the over in 3 of their last 4 games, which nobody would expect looking at that team. But the totals have been ridiculously low because they don't have a quarterback and they cannot move the ball and their defense is elite. The market still has not adjusted. I don't think it's even possible for them to adjust to it. And now you're going to get 2 backup QBs in this game. And that spread up to 3 for Cleveland tells me that they're going to win this game and they're going to cover. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But this total coming down from 44, where it originally opened a week or so ago, now all the way down to 32 with the injury news at QB is ridiculously low. I think the Jags are not going to be able to move the rock at all with their backup QB in there, which is why that total is so fucking low. And the Browns are going to dominate this game. They're going to win this game 17-3. They're going to win big. It's going to be a blowout, but the game is going to soar under the Browns. Look, they're probably not going to put up a 25 piece. I don't even know if that's in their repertoire this week. And that Jags defense, sneakily good. That D line is elite. Their secondary is okay. Their defense, sneaky good. The Browns defense, low-key, I think is the best in the fucking league. Both defenses are going to be out there a ton, which I don't love, but I don't see these offenses shining one bit, and with that total that low, Javon, that game's going under.
Yeah,
It's going under.
There's a thing with the Jags too, which is kind of why I believed a little bit in Jake Browning last week, which is not. I'm not going to say I fully endorsed the Bengals and take them straight up, but their defense plays in a way where like quarterbacks who take the throws that they're going to give you have been like really good. So like Browning obviously did that. The worst of it, which he's a very good quarterback, but Brock Purdy is literally the king of taking throws that the defense gives you. So like guys like that, especially when they're backups, and now you get one who's been a veteran for a while in the league, that's kind of perfect. So like I don't think it's going to be a offensive masterclass from the Browns, but Joe Flacco doesn't have to do too much.
No, he does not. They're going to win this game with their defense, and that's why I'm taking the under. Chat saying, so the Jags saying Lawrence is back practicing. Shouldn't be a concern for him playing. Z Bully, if he was playing, the Jags wouldn't be +3 in this spot.
Until you see that line flip a touchdown, he's not playing.
He ain't playing. The books already know. They know everything. They probably got a guy outside the locker room just waiting to fucking talk to these guys and get the injury reports.
Yeah.
They know everything before we do. Have to bet that way. Have to think that way if you want to be profitable. It's the only fucking option you have. Okay. Looking at this spread, there's no way in fuck that Trevor Lawrence plays in this game. There's no way that they score, and there's no way the Browns lose. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some Mikey overs of the weekend. NFL Week 14 slate here, Javon. 2 games we think are going to soar over. Why don't you get us started off? Why do you like the Atlanta and Tampa over?
So you went to this game, boots on ground in Tampa the first time around, and total of 37.5. It was 16-13. The Falcons won on a Young Hoku field goal at the end to win it. And that game was ugly. That game was, I can't even describe it. It was like I was getting punked watching that game with all of the stupid turnovers, stupid plays. It was bad, but the one thing that I look at in this game, the total opened higher to begin with. It was like 39.5, and now it's getting steamed up to 40.5, 41, especially with a very profitable system, which people take as divisional unders when they play for the second time in a season. To see one moving the other way is astounding to me, especially when you see these two teams who, I mean, the Bucks defense is a little banged up and decimated, but they're probably getting Levante David back this weekend, which is a massive reinforcement. But the Falcons offense is bad, and they just played a 13-8 game against the Jets, where they realistically probably shouldn't have scored a touchdown. So to see this total moving up is astounding to me. I can't really believe it, but I will say in that first game, the Falcons really didn't have an issue moving the ball. So the problem was Desmond Ridder fumbled 3 times in the red zone. 2 of them were on the 1-yard line. So like this game, I think is going to be even crazier in terms of ridiculous plays. I think Desmond Ridder, we took him to not throw a pick in that game, and he didn't, but he fumbled 3 times. I think he throws a pick in this game. The Bucs defense kind of shows out and gives them good field position. But I really shockingly believe in the Bucs offense this week. Like I think they're going to carry the load in this game. And you know what this line reminds me of? We're talking about the game line. Falcons -1.5 reminds me of Falcons Commanders. Which I'm not going to say the Desmond Ridder Falcons at home is the same thing then as it is now because they're a little worse. But this Bucs team, as hurt as they are, they won last week. Not a very inspiring win against the Panthers team that on paper everybody should blow out. Seems oddly short. It's starting to creep back from 2 to 1.5, which I thought was very odd. So I think the Bucs offense comes to play this week. I think we get a Chris Godwin game. I don't know if you saw that at all.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, his wife is calling Todd Bowles out, so I think something's going to change. Which I see they haven't had a reception lineup for him in like a week or so, and he's got a 5 square up on Prize Picks after not catching a single ball last week. He got in the end zone on like a jet sweep, but that's about it. His yards have been creeping up by 6 or 7. So I think we get a good game from the cast of the Bucs this week, and Falcons aren't going to have trouble scoring either.
Once the wives get involved, the changes are going to be made. Okay, he's going to get the rock probably 10 times. He might have a record amount of targets this weekend.
Yeah, hoping so. Hoping so.
DeGen was talking about the Bucs D potentially scoring. What are your thoughts on that?
I can see it. I think like yesterday, I said Trubisky was going to put the Patriots in very good field position with a turnover a time or two. It's the exact same way I feel about this game. So maybe a defensive touchdown is a pretty good sprinkle. I think we'll talk about some touchdowns after the NFL preview if we have any. But yeah, I think the Bucs are going to have plenty of short fields in this game. Okay. So like that obviously aids the offense.
All right. We got a sub bang from B here now 3. Let's go. He's here. He's here now. And he's sub banging 7 months. Love to fucking see it. 1 month. 7 minutes ago. First month. We got a rookie sub banging.
Wow.
Let's go. And he's here now.
Rookie of the year.
Be here now 3. He's here. Let's freaking go. Crabs. Green Book has Soto Judge combo home run prop set at 87.5. Whoa. Whoa.
You gonna fade that?
Does that sound high? Was that 43 each? 43, 44?
Yeah, just about.
44, 44?
That seems kind of high on Soto's end.
It does. It does. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to fade Soto Knicks this season. I'd be down to fade Aaron Judge Knicks again and run that back since that was the freest bet of all time. I don't know if I'm down to fade Soto. I think he might be a monster.
It is minus 125 to the under. It says on the screen.
Wow. Minus 125 to the under.
I mean, I feel like just putting up a line of that this early is just that just can't go over.
No, you're so right. The only reason they're putting that up is to get people to bet that over.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they think anybody's taking the under.
Soto short perch merchant. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's going to get blessed a couple times, but let's not act like he doesn't hit the ball opposite field faster and harder than anybody else has ever done in their life.
Yeah.
Straight up. All right. W's over plus Chicky. Sure, Daniel, no chance. Yeah.
You get out.
Crabs, this is how you get the Colorado coins back. That could be.
There we go.
That could be. And then you know what's going to happen? They're going to hit 30 home runs in the first month, and then they're not going to hit any the rest of the year, and then they're going to end up going over right at the end. Oy. All right. W's, Javon. Let me go over my Mikey over of the NFL weekend. It's square. I don't care. We're going to be there, boots on ground. Eagles, Cowboys. 2 weeks ago, you couldn't pay someone to bet on a prime time over. Now we've seen, 5 in a row? Pitt?
Yeah.
5 in a row. Not ideal, folks. Javon was begging for that game last night to go under. It didn't. I don't care. I'm not wavering. I'm still taking this over in this game just by looking at the matchups. I think Dak has an absolute field day here at home on his turf against that moose shit secondary. They are a below-average secondary on the Eagles. Their D-line, they might get involved, but that Cowboys O-line is good enough to hold them. On the other side of the ball, I think Jalen Hurts, they might have to run this week. They might not have a choice if they want to win this game. We've seen them kind of, protect Jalen Hurts and not run with him as much, only 2 times last game because he's clearly hurt. But they might not have a choice in this game because if they want to win, they're going to have to run Hurts. And I'm seeing his rushing yard square is pretty freaking high this week. So we'll see. Maybe there'll be vintage Hurts this weekend, and we'll see a classic shootout between the Cowboys and the Eagles. The total in this game is up about 3.5 points from the opener. It's probably going to keep moving. It's going to be public. I don't give a shit. I've already seen it. Cowboys win this game 35-31 in probably the best game of the season. Going to be epic. The Cowboys take over first place, and then you're going to start seeing people say the Eagles aren't that good. I was a little bit ahead of it, a little ahead of my time, some people might say, calling out the Eagles, saying they're not legit, Javon, but the people are going to see it on the big screen live Sunday Night Football as the Cowboys maybe even put up a 40-piece in this game.
That would be awesome.
They're going to have no constraints on the offensive side of the ball, in my opinion here. CD's going to run wild. His receiving yards prop is in the 90s. He's going to have a fucking field day. Who in that secondary can cover him right now? Darius Slay can't even practice. He's so old and hurt.
Slay's been getting cooked the last couple of weeks.
So he's like plays.
I was looking at a tweet the other day showing some of his advanced numbers, and he's sitting there with some of the most average quarterbacks in the league.
You mean tweet on the under? All trends point to the under? That's exactly what we want to see, Phil Zutley. Good. I hope he keeps tweeting about that under as I lock in the over for more units. Sure. Let's pivot. Let's move. Let's talk about 2 blowouts we love this weekend, Javon. 2 favorites we see winning, covering, taking care of business. What do you like?
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Ooh.
I think for a team the last couple of weeks who I guess you can argue is starting to get healthy, and the Rams, the 7.5 points feels like a ton. So this is a game where I think the Ravens are going to be super physical, and it's going to be one of those annoying games that the Ravens dominate without Lamar having to really throw the ball. And then everybody cries Lamar MVP because they win by 30 when he throws for 150 yards and they rush for 250 between Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell and I guess his own legs. I just don't think the Rams stand a chance in this game. I think, again, we'll talk about touchdowns in this one in a second, but that line screams to me they're going to dominate. And I think weather is a decent bit of this game, but it's the higher of the couple totals that are in weather-affected games, which kind of screams to me the run game is going to absolutely dominate. So the way that Stafford has looked the last couple of weeks coming back with this receiving core, that's, a little banged up, I guess you could say, with Puka. He's looked good. Now they're going to go on the road in Baltimore in a weather-affected game, windy, rainy, whatever. I don't think he's going to do much. It's I think this game plays out very similar to Lions-Ravens.
Okay. I'm so with you. That spread is fat as heck. I know the Ravens have been taking care of business. And I know Goots probably just did a backflip out of his fucking chair in the background here because he's fucking lit up. Huge Ravens fan.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Javon.
There we go, Goots. Let's fucking go. I know that was music to your ears, bro.
It was, absolutely.
W's. That spread's super fat. The Rams have won 3 games in a row. They look like they're getting their shit together, but if you've watched their games, it's been a tough 3 wins for that team. I think the Ravens defense is legit, and I think they show that again at home in the spots, and they win big with that fat spread.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, give me the Browns. Already talked about them a good amount, but I love Cleveland in this spot. Seeing that spread at -3 tells me that Trevor Lawrence isn't going to play, and if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, the Jags might not score a point in this game against Myles Garrett and this Browns defense that for some reason still does not get the respect that they deserve. They're the best defense in the NFL, and they're going to show that once again this weekend against a backup quarterback and an offense that has not impressed me as much as it has other people this season too. Fade anything you can on the Jags, any squares, any props, whatever you can do. Fade the living heck out of it because they're literally not going to score. And not saying the Browns are going to put up a 30-piece, but I do think with that -3 spread, it's extremely telling, and they'll take care of business here at home and get a win by at least a handful of points. They'll cover the spread easily. I don't think the Jags are going to be on the scoreboard. I'm not even fucking around. This game might end 10-0. I don't think it will. I think it'll be more like 17-3 type. They'll get 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and maybe the Jags will kick a field goal, but I don't see them scoring a touchdown in this game. Maybe that would be a cheeky prop to target, but give me the Browns laying 3 to win this game big.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna keep tabs on some injury news in that game outside of Trevor Lawrence, of course.
Yep.
This looks like we got some Ron sub bangs.
Let's go, Ron. 2-piece. Let's fucking go, Ron. Love to see it. If you just got blessed with a subby, if you're Spatel or Clown Picks, you just got subbed by Ron. Let's get some W's going in chat. Let's freaking go. I can smell those sub banks through the monitor. Ooh. All right. Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. Let's talk about some upset alerts.
Let's talk about it.
This weekend. We've got 2 nasty plays. Javon, especially yours. You're grabbing 11 points with the Seahawks here?
Yeah, which, I mean, realistically, do I think you're going to win outright? Probably no. But if we're talking about divisional trends that I would love to buy into, they just got blown out on Thanksgiving against them, and they're playing them for the second time. Now it's on the road, obviously, which on paper is a tougher matchup, but 49ers are coming off of their Super Bowl. Quite literally, this is a massive revenge game for them after all the shit they talked last year. They're put in a ridiculous position, something not under their control in the NFC Championship, of course. So they're looking forward to this game, especially going on the road to Philly against a team who has been incredible this season, been very fortunate in a bunch of circumstances. They beat the piss out of them. So now they get a team that they just beat the piss out of the week before this. So I think the Seahawks stay in this game, especially, I mean, they just had a heartbreaking loss to the Cowboys where they were impressive in that game. Obviously, the defense was not, but the way they played offensively, which against what I think is a really good Cowboys defense, was impressive. So this week, I think, to be honest with you, I think they're more physical than people expect in this game, which would help with the run game, establishing that, which not many teams have been able to do against the 49ers. I just think this is a pretty massive letdown spot. So I think this is a 1-possession game at the most.
This will be the first week in over 2 months where the Seahawks offensive line is fully healthy and ready to go. And that is a difference for this team. They rely on the trenches, especially on offense with that O-line. They've been banged up all season. They've made do. But they get their guys back and they get that starting O-line, which could be pivotal in a spot where they're going to need to win in the trenches to catch the 49ers sleeping and keep this game within a tutty. I think they do it. I think they make this game weird. Maybe it even goes down to, last possession.
Yeah, it's just a weird spot. And I don't know in chat how we can say that's not the game that they take the most serious the whole year. Like pretty much everybody in that team said they were looking forward to this game all season.
They said, Brock Purdy said, I remember. I've been thinking about this one for months.
Yeah, and I mean, if you saw the way they were celebrating in that game, you can very clearly tell how seriously they took that game. It was like they did. So I mean, they have bigger things coming up, obviously, in the postseason. But
it was like watching Goots do a backflip when Javon said he's on the Ravens.
Yeah,
similar celebration, crazy, historic. Some might call it. Okay, W's, love it. I'm on the Jets. Don't love it, but it's the right play. It's a nasty play. Pinch your nose. It is what it is. The fact that they're plus 3.5 in this game is hilarious. It pairs with the under that we like in this game as well. CJ Stroud seeing guests in this matchup against the Jets. Just look at the spread, guys. They have no business only laying 3 on the road against this Mushit team with Zach Wilson getting the rock back. Maybe we get a Zach Wilson legacy driver too. That's probably all we're going to need because the Jets defense is going to win this game outright for them boys when nobody believes in them and everybody loves The Houston Texans, who are coming off that big win against the Broncos that they barely held on for dear life at the very end and had a nice little goal line stand there to win it. Super stressful. And if you look at what the Jets have been doing, they haven't won a game or covered in almost 2 months. Ridiculous, embarrassing, hilariously bad. This is when you buy low on the Jets defense. It's ridiculous that they're only getting 3.5 points, and that should tell you everything you need to know. Jets probably win this game outright, but grab the points just in case. We're not heathens. We're not caveman. Give me the plus 3.5. Book it. They're going to keep it within a field goal. It's already done.
Love it.
It's done.
Oh, man.
Love it. Sure. Let's move on to the prize pick squares of the weekend. Love these squares. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me why you're taking your guy Josh Dobbs.
I mean, I doubled up on Vikings. I guess the Josh Dobbs square is pretty evident why I'm taking it. I take system play. All the quarterbacks that have thrown 3 picks in their last week, and they put the square up again. Fading that has been printing. And I have obviously never seen one. I don't know how many quarterbacks have thrown 4 picks this season, if there's been any, but I threw 4 picks. There's a square up this week, and it makes football sense too to fade it because the Raiders, while their defense has been better since Antonio Pierce has taken over, they still play like relatively soft coverage. So like Josh Dobbs is not going to have to force his way into a lot of these throws, and like he did in Chicago or against Chicago because it was a home game on Monday Night Football. But coming off a bye, he's going to have time to prepare and take exactly what the defense gives him. So Josh Dobbs is going to be very conservative this week, and I'll tell you exactly what they're going to give him. They're going to give him Justin Jefferson for a lot of yards. He's coming back this week, and they've been working with him a lot. Dobbs and Jefferson have been working together to kind of develop a rapport. So now that he's fully healthy, which they were talking about him being able to come back potentially last game, he's ready to go.
Okay.
So against this very soft coverage and soft defenses, I think he needs, I forget which record it is. Maybe it's like most rookie or most records and like, or most, fuck, I can't talk, most yards in like his first 4 seasons or something like that. He needs like 117 to break that.
Okay.
He's going to break that this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's getting 118 yards this weekend.
Yeah.
2 words, ladder. Ladder him. Take us over 100 alt, whatever you got to do. You're taking his more than 65.5 on prospects?
Yeah.
Sure. Double that. Take the outline. Little stack with Dobbs, kind of. Not really. They don't really correlate, but
yeah, not exactly, but same principle, I guess you could say.
God, those squares are smacking. I love those. Guys, if there's one thing you got to keep your eyes peeled on towards the end of the NFL season, it's these incentives, it's these goals, it's these records that these players are chasing, especially on teams who might not be making the playoffs, and who knows what the hell's going to happen with the Vikings at this point. But Jay Jettas wanting to come back this season when they're probably dead. They don't have Kirk. Tells me that he wants to play for a reason. It's probably to break that 4-year record in his first 4 seasons, most receiving yards in NFL history. Feed him the ball. I'm sure that's been a talking point all week. Jay Jettas, give me the ball to Dobbs, right? And Dobbs is going to be more conservative this week, but and not throw a pick, but he should have a pretty good matchup here and feed his guy Jay Jettas, who is back. Love it. W's. I'm going with Jared Goff, less than 1.5 passing tutties, and I'm also taking Justin Fields, more than 62.5 rush yards. Okay, I took this Justin Fields square about a month ago when they played against the Lions, and the Bears covered that game as well. Justin Fields had an absolute legacy day on the ground. I think he rushed for over 100 yards in that game. Guys, the Lions have nobody that can contain a rushing QB, and I'm going to go back to the well here at this high number once again and back Justin Fields on the ground to get it done. Almost got me on that more than 1.5 pass rushing receiving tutties. But I personally think that the Bears might be a little bit of a sharp trap this week, although I'm not going to be taking the Lions. I want to stay off that. I want to stay off of Justin Fields in that 1.5 passing tutties. Instead, let's take his rushing yards. Let's isolate. He has an unbelievable matchup. He's going to have to run wild against that D-line. He's not going to have a choice if he wants to be, alive and safe and keep his limbs intact, because that Lions D-line is coming. He's going to be running. They're going to have plays set up for him specifically to run. And he's probably going to get a rushing touchdown. And we can talk about that at the end when we're doing some ATTS talk. But it's going to be Justin Fields on the ground, and it's going to be Jared Goff. Just take a peep at that square, and that'll tell you why I like Jared Goff. Less than 1.5 passing tutties. He's been seeing ghosts recently. I'm just going to say it. Jared Goff has not looked as sharp the last couple of weeks that he has over the last 1.5, 2 years. Maybe he's in his own head. We know he's a guy like that who can get in his own head. We've seen it over the years in L.A., he's probably not going to be feeling too confident going against Justin Fields and the Bears in this spot after how the last game went. Give me his less than 1.5 passing tutties. All you got to do is look at that chart right there, and then I'll tell you why it's smack. Okay? You like those?
I do like those. I have a weird feeling about that Lions game because, I mean, obviously the most, like, glaringly obvious you could debate between, like, the Texans and the Lions of, like, a trap game on the board. And with the way that the Bears defense has played the last couple of weeks, and when I go to see, I think Jared Goff had 3 picks against the Bears in that game, and you want to know why it's not on the board as a square because it's minus 145 for him not to throw a pick. And the story with the Bears defense has been the run defense has been really, really good, which is why, like, Dobbs was forced to throw the ball in a lot of tough situations. I think the Lions rushing attack wins out this week, which I don't know if that's a hot take to say. It really shouldn't be, but I think David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are going to feast, which would make life very easy on Jared Goff, especially in the red zone or wherever he would need to score.
We've got a good question from Money Magic 999 in chat. How do you say look at that chart and then take the under lull? Don't hate the play, just wondering why. Money Magic 999, that's just how I roll, my man. Contrarian, fade the public, taking nasty squares, taking nasty plays, and it pays. I'm still here. I'm building bankroll. It works. If you take squares and plays like Jared Goff more than 1.5 passing tutties by looking at that chart, you will have nothing in a couple weeks if that's your betting style because it doesn't work. If bets like Jared Goff more than 1.5 passing tutties hit, Vegas wouldn't look like it did. The sports books wouldn't be open. They'd be bankrupt, and we'd all be partying and celebrating in Cabo on our own private islands. Doesn't work like that. Got to be nasty. Got to fade plays like that, and it's smacking. Plain and simple. All right?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that too. Demont, another revenge game. He really wasn't very good in the first game. I think he scored, but he wasn't like a David Montgomery game. Maybe we get that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, because if you look at his touchdown square,
he's got one up.
It's not making me want to take his touchdown, although he's literally turned into Jamal Williams.
Yeah,
that team from last year.
It's just not fadeable.
He just gets a fucking rushing tutty every game, and don't fade it because you'll be poor if you do. So I honestly don't even fade him, but definitely not taking him to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance. Did Guzman smack? Bro, Guzman had 6 saves last night.
Dude,
6.
Guzman legacy.
Not 4, not 5, 6 piece. Half a dozen. How about it? Unbelievable. All right. Awesome. Let's move to meat on tag plays. Our favorite NFL plays of this weekend. Chat, lock in. Okay, get your pens and pencils clicked. Get your notebooks out. Let's fucking lock in. Javon, you're going with that Atlanta-Tampa over.
Yeah.
As your meat on tag play.
Doubling down. I mean, that line is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that it's climbed up to 41, which is a pretty key number. We're talking about totals. So the fact that it opened up higher than it did in Tampa, and it's moving up to this point with 2 offenses that have frankly been awful. And the only reason the Bucs offense has been somewhat competent is because the defense can't stay on the field because they're giving up scores way too quickly. So yeah, the Bucs are scoring this week. That game is going to soar over. Looks ugly. It's not going to be.
Okay, sure. Chat's talking about they have sprints up.
They do. We can check those out for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll peep those right after this, chat. Might have to craft up a geyserman. Okay. Awesome. I'm going with the Cowboys. Boots on grounds. Trent was confused on this spread last night when we were talking about it. He thought the Eagles would be a favorite. I feel like that's a pretty, normal and square take and read on that game. The way that everybody talks, the Eagles probably should be a favorite against everybody they play. They're the greatest team on earth. Greatest thing since sliced bread. Here's the problem, guys. The Cowboys are actually the best team in this division. As an NFC East guy, it hurts my heart to say it. I hate both these fucking teams. I hate them both equally. I might hate the Eagles more right now because everybody has their fucking Kelly Greens halfway down their throats. But in this spot, with that spread up to 3.5, that hook is good enough for me to latch on to the Cowboys in this spot with plenty of points on their home turf. No way the Eagles lose 2 games in a row, right? You're going to see every square in their mother taking that angle, locking in the Eagles at plus chicky. Guys, the Eagles, who are America's public darling over the last year and a half, they're not putting the Eagles at plus chick for no reason, okay? They're plus chick because they're losing this fucking game. Everyone and their mother is going to be on that plus chick, and they're going to lose their coins. Dak Prescott legacy game to CD. I'm going to stack and ladder those puppies, probably yards both ways, and go about my day and enjoy the absolute offensive shootout that this is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the highest scoring game of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if Dak Prescott and the Cowboys don't put up a 40 piece in this game. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't. That Eagles defense is hanging on by a freaking thread right now. By a thread. They're moose shit. Their secondary is weak, and the Cowboys have a great matchup to exploit that at home. Lay it with the boys. Hate saying it. It is what it is, but Cowboys are winning this game back.
Yeah, and I really don't understand this question from chat. How is this spot different than the Bills game? Feels so similar line-wise. There's about a 7-point difference. I think that's where we start because the Cowboys are favorites compared to the other way around. So yeah, the Cowboys at home. This is their prove-it game. So I will be putting coins in the Cowboys, of course, as well.
Yep, big time. We got Ron giving out another subby. Or no, that was the old subby. Either way, though. Ron, you're my guy. What do you want today, bro? Wonder if Ron has a bozo pack for the people today.
Probably does. Might need it today.
Need it. Yeah, Devin, Chat's feeling square today. That's okay. That's what happened when the squad ride loses. Chat will turn square for a day, but we'll get it back. All right. We'll be all right. CD 100+. That's a square bet that I can get behind. We got Richfield Tech coming in, 12-month subby, 1 year. Let's freaking go, Richfield Tech. Love to see it. Appreciate the sub bang, my man. Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. I'm surprised to hear no Bears talk in chat. Yeah, okay, that game sketches the living heck out of me. Okay, my heart is telling me it's the Bears, but my brain is telling me we've already seen this and it's too easy.
I know.
So I want to stay off. Now, if you look at the prize picks board, it'll scream to you Bears, Bears, Bears. That's what it's going to scream to you. And at the end of the day, that's 2 check marks on the Bears side and 1 on the Lions. I'd probably lean Bears and the points here. Don't know if I'm going to get to the counter, but either way, that's the right side in this game, whether they've already done it or not. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get there.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. W's. We've done our best bets. We've done our meat on tape. We've done the NFL week preview. Do we want to do a little sprints, NFL geyser?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't taken a good look at the board, but we can do that. Dive into what see what you guys like and try to craft up a little entry.
100%.
At least get some looks.
100%. Goots, bro. Let's get freaking active. And Goots, don't be shy. If you've got plays you like, let us know. We can build this puppy together. Do they have Tyreek Hill up for anything?
That's the first thing I was going to say.
No
415.5.
And how many yards is he at right now? We can look.
I think he would need to get over that to get 2,000. So I mean, that's the squarest play on the board, and I would gladly take it.
Tyreek Hill right now is at 1481 receiving yards. You said he's at what?
415.5.
So yeah, he needs to clear that to get 2,000 yards. Chad, are we walking into the biggest fucking trap on earth? Or are we walking into a square play that's about to pay? I kind of like it. Let's see who they're about to be playing the rest of the season.
The schedule is not too easy aside from this week. They play the Titans, which they're one of the worst secondaries, if not the worst secondary in the league. Then they go Jets, or I guess it's only through 17, which is, I guess that makes sense. Jets, Cowboys, Ravens. First 3 at home, then the Ravens on the road. So, I mean, that's a respectable cast of defenses.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe we could target one of the other squares.
What else is he up there for, Goots?
Reception TDs, 2.5. Receptions, 28.5.
I feel like if we're going to take him, though, they're trying to get him 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
He's trying to do something that's never been done.
There's got to be an incentive for that, too.
Did Calvin not get 2 racks?
He got just under, I think.
Goots, put him in. More than receiving yards.
Okay.
Let's put him in there. We can always take him out if we like anything better.
They also, I can only assume, for a couple of reasons, that they would want him to get it in 16 games. Both so it's a validated record, and I don't know if they're going to be in a situation where they can rest their starters, but if they want to keep that option come week 17, which is against, or week 18, it's against the Bills, so it might mean something for the division, but who knows at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. And like Phil's is saying, probably doesn't matter, but the Dolphins' schedule is tough. That could help, that could hurt, right? They're not going to be playing moose shit teams, so there's not going to be blowouts, which means he's probably going to be playing the whole game, but sure, he's going to be going against better secondaries. At the end of the day, it's fucking Tyreek Hill. There's not a single guy on earth that can cover him. It's going to come down to Tua. It's going to come down to the rest of that offensive line, holding him down and protecting him and giving them the opportunity to score and catch plenty of passes. It's not even really going to come down to who the fuck they're playing against. If anything, you can make an argument that maybe it's better that they're playing against better teams because the scores are going to be closer. They're going to need their starters in the whole time. And maybe they're going to run up the score, their opponents will, and they're going to have to fight back and climb back up and hit Tyreek Hill with some passes to come back. I like it.
Yeah, I'm in.
Any other Geysermans or angles that you wanted to target before we get a lap?
So I did just glaze over the rushing touchdown section
you?
of everything.
Did you know?
Just a couple of interesting quarterbacks on the bottom. One of them
Okay.
being Dak Prescott.
Ooh.
Is up there for half a rushing touchdown, and CJ Stroud is another one that's down there,
Huh.
which I thought was relatively interesting.
Yeah, they got Russ as well.
Yeah, I mean, the CJ Stroud makes a little bit more sense because he's actually scored 3 in the last 5 weeks-ish.
Yeah, I'm good on that then.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but yeah, the Dak one is interesting because the only one he scored this week or this year is he scored 1 in a blowout, I think, against the Giants.
He had 1 against the Giants 4 weeks ago. He had 1 against the Chargers 3 weeks before that. I mean, he's been getting carries. Like, he had 7 carries against Seattle, although probably a lot of those were scrambles. But
Well, he had one that, I mean, I took him in that game, and I was pissed because he had a 15-yard run or something that got called back for a holding. So he was in the end zone. It's not like he gets any shortage of looks there. So, I mean, that square sticks out a little bit.
Okay. Dak Prescott more than half a rushing tutty in the next 4 games. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, to say the least.
Okay. Goots, you got any Ravens that you like? No stress.
Let me look
Let me
at
know-
it. I haven't
Let me
even
know if
looked.
there's any Ravens who are catching your eye, my man.
There's only one up.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just looked, and they don't even have any offensive players up for the Ravens.
Kyle
which is kinda
Hamilton
pissed,
pick?
except for
Yeah.
Lamar.
Okay.
You know, one who I wouldn't be opposed to taking.
Darius Slay less than a pick.
Well, yes. What about James Cook?
What do you like about James Cook down the stretch?
I mean, down the stretch, the Bills, they play a couple of interesting games where I think they're going to have to establish the run. Like, it's a decently tough matchup in the next 2 times against Kansas City and Dallas, but those are 2 games where I think their run game is going to be a little better than people are going to give them credit for. But on the back end of that, even if he's not terribly efficient in those games, they follow that with the Chargers and the Patriots, which the Patriots decent run defense as well. But I think they're going to be in control of that game, especially in Buffalo. But the Chargers could offer some opportunity for sure.
Huh.
I just think in order for the Bills to be successful down the stretch in a couple of massive games, which I kind of think they're going to be, I think the run game is going to have to be really good. And I think it is. That's just what my gut is telling me here about the Bills.
Do you want to take his receiving tutty or his rush yards?
I was saying it's rush yards.
Let's see. They play Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, and they play the Pats.
They do.
Huh.
I also just think like that line, it looks a little odd that he's sitting there with a couple guys like Rashad and Alvin Kamara.
Is he around the same number as them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking to see his usage over the last couple weeks since they fired their OC. I mean, he's been getting way more carries the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely seen an uptick, and he hasn't been able to take like a massive step in overall productivity just yet, but I think it's right around the corner.
Okay. I mean, he averaged 4.3 yards per carry against the Jets. A very good defense.
I know, it's impressive. Wasn't great against.
Chad, is this louder when I talk into the mic like this? Does my voice sound way more beautiful? Let me know. Let me know. All right, Nick's getting me. He's getting me right. Get that thing really close. There we go. Good. Awesome.
Yes.
James Cook. I like the game script. I think this Bills team will be upsetting some teams down the stretch, whether they're in the playoffs or not. Probably just playing spoiler. I would not mind taking James Cook with the new OC. It seems like they've established the run more in the last 2 games, and he had some success against a good defense. So I could definitely get behind James Cook rushing yards.
Trying to see what these games are too, because not to say that the weather projections mean anything, but
At Chiefs,
I was gonna say
at Bills, at Chargers, at Bills.
Yes, I mean outside of Los Angeles,
Those could be three weather
those
games.
could be three huge.
They
weather
might have to
games.
run the ball. They might not have a fucking choice.
I think that game for Dallas is going to be tough too, especially if they win this week. Them going to Buffalo after that is, I don't know if they're going to be as physical.
Yep.
Especially if it ends up being a cold snow game, which would be super fun to watch. I like that James Cook angle.
So do I. Put it in there. I'm in. W's. Yeah, W Nick for fixing the mic. Love to see it.
Yep, huge W's.
Trent, muck that mic. Don't get too close. Yeah, that's why I kept it so far away.
We make no contact with these mics.
There will be no contact with the mics. Okay. What about that Darius Slay less than half an interception? He's barely good enough to fucking get back on the field, barely healthy enough to get back out there on the field. He did return to practice today, but that guy's not getting a fucking pick the rest of the year. And the fact that they're putting that up looks like bait and a half. He's having his worst career season. He ain't getting a pick.
So I have noticed when they put the sprints up, the best ones to fade are the guys who have gotten like a slew of couple interceptions lately. It's like those are the only ones that I considered touching. And I'm looking through and trying to find. I mean, dude, Jalen Ramsey is up for a pick.
Has he been getting picks?
I mean, I know he had a couple against the
He's got 3 this year already. That's crazy. He's got 3 in fucking
2 against the Raiders.
5 games.
1 against the Pats in his first game back. It's weird. I wish he was a little closer to the last couple of games where he got a pick, but that's an odd one. Who else they have up? They have Jesse Bates. That's one that probably screams you should fade, but I really don't want to because Jesse Bates is just a ball hawk. But yeah, there's not much of love there. They don't have Bland up, unfortunately, or else I would fade it. Team Moshman. I love where your head's at.
Yeah, what about Derek Stingley?
Oh, Derek Stingley is up. That's an interesting one. That was one of the best picks I've seen this season. That he had to close that game out, or not close that game out. The first one, not the second one. But yeah, he's got 4 picks in his last 3 games, including the 2 last week. That's probably the one that says you should fade.
Damn. I'd be down to throw that in there. Who are the Texans playing the next couple of weeks?
Looking right now, obviously Jets this week, which is a scary thing to say. Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans again. Good Lord.
Jesus, bro. And they're putting that square up?
Dude. Zach Wilson, Will Levis twice, and then probably by that point, DTR.
And they're putting that square up.
Holy shit.
After he's had a legacy game.
I mean, good God.
I'm in.
Good God. And yeah, that's a fair point. But Moshman there. Higher tier corner. Maybe they don't target him as much, which would be huge.
I'm in. Goots, put that shit in there, man.
That is disgusting.
Stingley, less than half a pick.
That is disgusting.
Okay. Yeah, that is gross. Why the fuck is that up on the boards? I'm in. I love that. Yeah. What about Hurts less than 3.5 rushing tutties?
I don't want to fade the brotherly, man. I can't do it. Can't do it.
You think they're gonna let people cash on the brotherly?
Yeah, they keep letting people cash on the brotherly.
What if I told you we could take Dak Prescott less than 2.5 picks over the next 4 games?
I don't know if I love that. I really hate it next week.
You hate it next week?
I hate it next week. I think that might be, especially if we both think they're going to win this game, massive game against the Eagles, and they go on the road to Buffalo in what's a huge game for both teams, but especially Buffalo, and against a defense that I feel like is going to make them trip up. So like that, I don't want to say it's going to be like a 49ers type game for Dak, but I really don't like him in that game.
Okay. If only that Commanders game counted at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a 0.
Okay. Fine. We don't have to back Dak Prescott to not throw picks. That's fine. Check out Jahmyr Gibbs receiving yards. Yeah, chat, please. Any Rex. Hit me with him. Is he up?
Gibbs?
Yeah. I don't see him up.
Yeah, I don't see him up. Might be pissed.
I don't see him up. What about McCaffrey less than 3.5 rushing tutties?
They're probably talking about this week, not the sprints.
Fair. That makes sense.
What square are you talking about, Krabs?
McCaffrey less than 3.5 rushing tutties. Also, Goots, what do we have in the queue as of right now? I think we have 3 squares.
In the queue, you got 3. Tyreek receiving yards, James Cook rush yards, and then Stingley pick.
We could find one more Geyserman.
Make it a 4-piece.
Gabe Davis over his tutties. You guys know Gabe Davis always shows up in the biggest moments, but he's not on there, which is big.
Could I potentially interest you in Sir Christopher Godwin?
Oh, yeah.
Coming off a goose egg last week against the Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
And all the stuff that's obviously coming out about him.
And you know Mike Evans is going to get hurt now in the last couple of games, and he got 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he got 1,000 yards. So, I mean, the focus isn't on feeding him really anymore.
Focus is on shutting up Chris Godwin's wife and getting him the ball.
I mean, I love Godwin this week. I mean, I think if he's truly the focus of the offense, which I'm hoping, he'd come away with 80 yards.
Trent's mom on Cup receiving.
Cup receiving.
Yeah. That might be this week. I don't know.
That could be this week. Yeah, I don't know if I love him this week. I don't love anything Rams this week. I would love to take Cup receiving just if it didn't include this game, which kind of sucks.
So, yeah, the Bucks, you got the Falcons, you got the Packers in Green Bay. You've got the Jags at home.
That's a Godwin game. I love him this week, obviously, but like I was saying, quarterbacks taking the easy throws. Godwin is the underneath, take the easy throw guy. It's like
take the hand out, take the easy way out.
Those 2 games, him tonight or this week, and then against the Jags, he might grow up.
And then he plays the Saints as well at home. They're pretty good.
He'll be all right.
Okay.
Mike. Mike Evans is going to play Lattimore in that game. Hopefully,
that's a good point. All right. You want to take his receptions or yards?
What's the receptions at?
19.5.
That's so high.
He's
gotten the last 4 weeks, which, this is 4 weeks for the 14 to 17, but last 4 weeks he has had 13 for 85, 130, 138. So I'm doing the math correctly.
That's high.
That is high.
High for a reason, though.
Kind of want to take his catches.
You want to take his catches? I don't know. I'm kind of interested in yards.
Why do you like his yards better?
Because I think he's going to be more of a chunk play guy. Because they've been using strictly Mike Evans for chunk play, anything for the entire season. Try to assume the 1K season at this point is probably a good part of that. And Godwin's been a little banged up for a couple of weeks, and now he's out there to prove that he's not hurt, I would have guessed. I kind of want his yards.
Okay. If you want to take his yards, that's fine. I think they both hit.
Yeah.
Like JS Belt saying in chat, don't matter, both hitting.
I agree.
All right, good. So if you put that receiving yards more than in, what are we cooking with for this spread?
Tyreek or more than 415.5 receiving yards. James Cook more than 227 rush yards.
Okay.
Derek Stingley less than a pick.
Okay.
And then Chris Godwin 217.5 more than receiving yards.
I kind of fuck with that 4-piece.
Dude, that pick is so gross.
I know, but it's smacking.
So gross.
I feel
can you X the Stingley pick and redo it so it's on the bottom? Since it's a less than, the others are more.
Yeah.
So it just looks better. I like that square. We're keeping that in there.
Okay. Fair enough.
I like that 4 geyser. I think we just stick with that.
I think it's GOP.
4-piece hold the fry, chat. Tyreek Hill to do his job, Chris Godwin to do his job, James Cook to do his job, and Stingley not to do his job.
Dude, I see a Ritter passing touchdown square up there.
What?
Is that what I just saw, Goots?
That might have been.
Dude. Why is that up?
Wait, what?
When he went to put up Stingley again, they had a Ritter passing touchdown square up.
3.5 passing tutties.
I mean, he's going to get 2 this week.
Are you serious?
Also, Kyle Hamilton being up there is weird. He's got 2 on the year. His last one was week 10 against the Browns.
I know. I've tried to snipe a couple of those pick squares up for guys that just shouldn't be up there, and they just haven't been hitting. So I kind of resigned from it.
Yeah.
It's definitely weird, though.
I mean,
he is playing some most shit defenses. Ritter is
really.
Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Bears. That's
This
the 4 weeks.
Grosser than Stingley.
You don't think they're just gonna fucking hand the ball off to Bijan a million times?
I mean, like they probably are, but that makes a lot of sense. Which anything the Falcons do just does not make sense. Everything Arthur Smith does.
He's got 2 touchdowns in the last 5 games combined. That's crazy.
I mean, Javon, you like the over in that game? You might be throwing 2 on Sunday.
I know. Plus, yeah.
If you actually think he's throwing 2 touchdowns this weekend, then we should put that on.
Well, like in theory too, like because the Bucks haven't been as good against the run as they probably should have, and I don't know if Vita Vea is going to be playing this weekend, but Panthers and Colts are 2 very respectable. I guess throw the Bears in there too. 3 very respectable run defenses. It's like,
and Bijan's a threat in the receiving game as well.
Yeah, he is.
He is good. That's true. Yes.
I mean, shit. 3.5 is looking at me funny.
You want to make it a 5 guys?
5 guys?
5 guys sprint?
I'm down.
Yeah?
Chad, what do you think about that?
Oh my God.
Dude, so let's pull this puppy up and I'll read it off. Let's see what Chad thinks about this 5 guyserman. He might get 4 versus the Bucks. Jay said that soon. Sure. Right now, chat. Oh.
I'm fixing it for your liking, Krabs.
You're good, bro. Right now, chat, we've got Tyreek Hill to do his job, more than 415.5 receiving yards. We got James Cook to do his job. Could be some nasty weather games. They need to lead on the run. They've been doing it more since they fired their OC. More than 227.5 rush yards. We got Godwin in a little wife spite angle here where she's pissed. She's chirping the coach. Get him the fucking rock or there's going to be problems. More than 217.5 receiving yards. We got Desmond Ritter. More than 3.5 passing tutties, which might be the nastiest square up there on the board that makes no sense. So it's hitting. Love to see it. And then we've got Stingley, who's one of the best corners in the league this season, coming off a legacy game, coming off of a couple great games, less than half a pick. Why is that up there? Because he's not getting a pick. Boom. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple. We get a Lembong subby. Let's fucking go, Lenny. Saintly Doinks getting a subby from Lenny. Love to see that. Sure.
You starting Godwin or Hubbard this week, Krabs? Godwin or Chuba?
I'm going Godwin. That's an easy one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Godwin.
Give me Godwin this week.
Chuba just had like a 100-yard game too.
All
this week,
eggs
right?
in one basket. Put him in there.
Yeah, if you can start Godwin this week, I would do it.
Devin, give me your NBA square you love today. Need to know that. All right. We could pivot. We could talk about some plays for today for the next couple.
Yeah.
All right, chap. Let me get this outline back up and running. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. We've got college basketball, NBA, NHL. We got a Degen 5-unit whale of a subby. Let's fucking go, Degen. If you guys aren't watching Degen show in the mornings, grow up, figure it out. Okay. Awesome, Degen. Let me know what the fuck you're betting today because the slate is absolute moose shit.
Don't forget we got to cook up the Hail Mary and the 5 guys.
We got to cook up Hail Mary and 5 guys. Okay. We got to do squad rides. We got to touch on Blaze and bets we like today, which is not going to be easy.
Yeah, not going to be easy at all.
So why don't we do that right now? Why don't we go through college basketball? Why don't we go through NBA and NHL and see if there's plays we like for today? Let's start with the college kids. All right. Let's see what the heck they're doing today. Your guy Quinn Post plays.
Does play today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You backing him? You backing BC against Holy Cross?
Kind of want to, but staying away from that just because they're not a big spread team. And the fact that they just choked one maybe means you should get into backing them because I think they were up like 20 plus on the majority of that game and it was 14.5, 15.5, and they didn't cover by the hook or whatever the number was there. So I don't think Holy Cross is going to be able to hold Quentin Post. Also went under his points last game because they didn't really play in the second half. Could be the game he snaps.
Okay. Could be the difference. I like Devin's angle here for the NBA square he's talking about. Cam Thomas over points. Was it 20 last game? Was Corp AF? I actually remember that. Everybody on Earth took it.
Yeah.
He ended with 9, and now he's listed at 22.5 against my Rizzy Wizards, who don't cover a park car. They can't play a lick of defense. And then somebody else noted about Dinwiddie. Dinshitty revenge game. He hates the Wizards. He hates Kyle Kuzma. He hates that team. Did not fit in there at all, and they pretty much kicked him out. And he's going to want to drop 30 piece against us tonight.
Just mine.
So keep that in mind, folks. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get to the NBA. Javon, I'll be honest, man. I'm not loving the card today in college.
You want to take a stab at Navy?
Navy plus 5.5.
That's Quinnipiac.
Against Quinnipiac. Don't let the midshipmen get hot, folks. It might be too late. They've covered the last 3 games. It seems like they flipped a switch. We knew they were not as bad as the 0-4 team that started the season that they were. Now they're sitting at 2-5. Don't let them get hot. It might literally be too late. Big wins against Coppin State and VMI, who stink. And they almost beat George Washington and hung in there in an OT game in that last contest in DC. Great game. They look good. George Washington, one of the better mid-majors this season. They almost beat him outright.
Yeah.
I would not mind buying low on the midshipmen here, who continue to get better and play their brand of basketball. Defensive-minded. They've got a good center, specs in the paint. And Quinnipiac is nothing special, but they're coming off of 4 wins in their last 5 and a nice win against Niagara in that last contest. Niagara is atrocious.
Kind of bad.
Yeah. Terrible. Navy's coming off a George Washington game where they almost pulled out an upset, which would have been crazy. Why not back the mids?
I saw Navy buses leaving last night. I saw the team.
You saw Navy heading out? Sure.
They looked
out
live.
of Annapolis. Yeah. It's a big weekend for Army Navy, right? It's a big weekend for Navy. Maybe their basketball team is going to feed off some of that energy, right? We know they're the standalone game tomorrow in college. Could be the difference. Okay. Definitely lean Navy. We've got 140.5 total. Seems pretty high for a game, don't you think? He's saying.
I think it's high for a Navy game, not really for a Quinnipiac game.
Yeah, to be fair, Navy has smacked 2 straight overs, and the last one was at 144.5. So they've been scoring some points.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know if Quinnipiac can play a slow game. Like, I feel like Navy is going to take them so far out of their comfort zone that it's going to be weird.
Do you think St. Peter's is going to take Duquesne out of their comfort zone today?
No. I think it's going to be the opposite.
Okay.
It's like you said, St. Peter's defense isn't that good, and it's not. They just play so slow that it kind of masks all their issues. So, like, I think Duquesne takes it to him today, and I think I'm kind of torn on what to do spread-wise, but I just kind of want to back points in that game, especially because I think St. Peter's is going to have to run to probably try and catch up in that game, especially like later in the second half. So I like points there. Out of that total moving up, I think is pretty indicative of what's going to happen in the game.
Okay. Godwin or Swift in fantasy, boys? I think you go Godwin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's definitely lower floor, higher ceiling for Godwin.
Okay. All right. I'm in on that. Chad, any college basketball plays you guys like? These games are moot shit. Okay, we'll have plenty of plays out for you guys tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a college basketball cheat sheet with all those games going tomorrow. That could be the difference.
Might have to be tapped.
Any other plays in these games, or do you want to pivot?
No, we can pivot. And I don't really have anything I like too much on the ice.
They want to take Oakland.
Oakland?
Chad, why have you guys not been hurt by Oakland enough? Did we not learn our lesson last season from these Bulls? They don't respect any coins.
They do this year, don't they?
Well, they've been better this year, and they got off to a crazy hot streak, and they're 8-2 ATS. So, yes, they do. Of course they do, because now I don't bet them. But they're coming off of 2 losses as favorites against Toledo and IPFW. Eastern Michigan, on the other hand, has been playing out of their minds for them recently with that roster. They stink. They lost other guys from last season, but they're 5-3. They're looking pretty good, and they're coming off of 4 straight covers in their last 4 games. Oakland has beaten this team, Eastern Michigan, the last 2 times they played, including last year when they won in a high-scoring affair, 92-90. Yeesh. I'm not betting this game. I don't bet Oakland anymore. I'm retired from betting Oakland. That is a pretty fat spread, though, for a road team with pretty similar Ken Palms, I will say. So maybe they do get it done on the road. That's a pretty big spread. Okay?
It's a fat spread.
Prize picks play of the day. You got any squares you're in love with tonight?
No, not that I've looked at yet.
Okay. What about NHL plays today? There's 3 games. It ain't much, but it's honest work. You got to have something on the ice.
Well, I don't, because I don't know if you looked at the board, but there's a couple of like minus 180, minus 200 favorites, which I kind of think they're going to win. So I don't really want to get involved in those games. So, yeah, if I don't like anything on the ice, it's probably because I think it's a pretty square day. Like, I like the Panthers up against the Penguins. I like the Oilers against the Wild, which the Wild just got shut out yesterday, so usually I don't like that. But I think it's a really tough spot for them, kind of like I did with the Preds and the Lightning last night. I don't want to fade the Wild long term, but I think this is a tough spot for them. So I guess you could argue this is kind of like the Caps Stars game, in the fact that I don't want to fade the Wild, and I don't really want to back the Oilers, but them coming off of a shutout, the Wild, I think there's going to have to be gold in this game. So I think they're going to score some, but I think the Oilers are going to pelt them.
Okay.
So maybe that over 6.5 after. I guess this is the most obvious overplay on the board out of the three, and the most obvious overplay was Devils Kraken last night, which didn't even get halfway there. Maybe the most obvious one hits today.
Okay. I don't know why people in chat are saying Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis randomly in chat. That's a crazy flashback. Also, our guy TMC, who just sub-banged earlier, is asking for some fantasy help on the waivers. Pirine, Latavius Murray, or Deontay Foreman.
Jesus. I guess Pirine, I would say, has the most upside, especially if you're PPR. I would say Pirine.
Yeah.
I think James Cook is starting to lock in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to get caught up in that. Foreman, I really don't know the situation over there. I haven't really been too tapped into that.
I'd probably get Pirine. With the backup
Pirine.
QB, you're going to see them running the ball more. You're going to see them using both RBs more. Probably some dink and dunks. You already saw it in the last game.
Well, no, he's in Denver.
Ooh.
No.
I'm an idiot.
It's like he's been a little bit more of like the third down.
Who was the fucking backup running back on the Bengals now?
He was in
I know
Cincy.
Yeah, but
I don't
this
know who the
year.
backup is right now.
Well, now I'm upset because I got that wrong. Huh.
He was the guy who ran for like 60 in the money.
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown,
Illinois legend.
That's right. Who it is. Yes, Chase Brown. It kind of looks like Pirine a little bit. Maybe that's why I was confused. But yeah, Pirine's a goat, and he's also a Mander. People forget he started his career in DC.
Was he actually?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Started his career in DC. All right, awesome. No hockey plays today that you love. There's a ton of NBA games on. No in-season tourney today. That's tomorrow, but we've got regular season games today. Anything you're loving that's sticking out to you there or no?
Not really. I'm going to take too big of a look here.
Guys, the Wizards are going to cover that game. They're going to cover that game. Plus 9.5 against the Brooklyn Nets, who they hate. The Brooklyn Nets also dominate the Wizards, and Spencer Dinwiddie always gets his lick back on the Wizards. Not tonight. Not tonight. You can't really buy lower on a team than you can right now with the Washington Wizards. Now, I will say they've been playing much more competitively over the last couple nights. They almost beat the 76ers. They almost beat the Magic in their last two games. They didn't. This could be the one they break through. And then you look over what Brooklyn's doing. They are taking care of business. They've won and covered for their last 5 games. They fucking own the Wizards, though. Look at the last 5 times they play them. Bro, I'm telling you, Dinwiddie has taken it personally the last couple times they played the Nets. I think the Wizards, though, will keep that within 10 points. We've seen the Wizards be plus 10.5 pretty much every game the last week or two. Now we're finally seeing that line starting to creep down a little bit. They're down to plus 9.5 here. Nothing crazy, but just a spite angle here with the Wizards. I know they don't fuck with Dinwiddie. These guys talk so much shit about each other in public. It's honestly ridiculous. It's going to be Kuzma's show. It's going to be Wizards maybe winning this game outright. You're probably going to get an over. I would not mind a little Dinwiddie angle either, like you guys were talking about in chat earlier too. Okay.
If we want to talk about buying low on a team, could I present you this? The Utah Jazz plus 7.5 at home tonight. Took the Clippers. They just beat pretty handily, I guess, towards the end of that game, the defending champion Nuggets, after getting pumped by them first time. You know how much the Jazz lost by in the last game?
How much?
50.
Dude.
Against the Mavs.
Dude.
So they're coming off of that. Clippers are coming off beating the defending champs in a sharp spot, where they've only come through in a handful of sharp spots this season, which we have gladly picked the 2 most noteworthy of those out, which is huge. Could it possibly be the time for the Jazz?
I mean, I don't love that the spread has moved up with the Clippers on the road here, but I like the fucking spot. I love the spot. And who the heck is betting on the Jazz? There's no way anybody on earth is taking this team right now. Let's see. Is anybody betting on the Jazz tonight? besides maybe a handful of people in chat and us because we're crazy. Jazz, 36% of bets, 16% of handle.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
It's a little weird.
Definitely not betting the Clippers on the road there. No, thank you.
Yeah. I want to see how that moves.
Okay. And I think Memphis is fake sharp today. I'm just going to say
Memphis.
I think the Grizzlies are fake sharp today.
Ooh.
Grizzlies have been on fire recently. Spreads down from 6.5 to 5.5. They're public. I think you fade Memphis. I think you take Minnesota, who's not been playing their best recently. And I think they got some injury concerns too. Lay it 5.5 on the road.
I don't even think it gets that.
Hey, Pluckers just responded to my tweet from last night.
Did they?
Sure.
That's huge.
Pluckers wings, they're legit, folks. They're good. They're worth the price.
Okay, wait. Here. This could be an interesting one, I guess. Flip-flopping from the Clippers-Nuggets game. So they just lost that game. The Nuggets did, and now they're laying 9 at home against the Rockets, who everybody and their mother just faded because the Thunder had a short line. I think it was in Houston in that game. They're like -2, and it was a squares play on the board. Rockets came out and won that game outright. Now they're going to Denver. Denver off of a heartbreaking loss, I guess you could argue. It seems like, I know it's the Nuggets, and they're getting healthier, but that seems like a lot of points. But the Nuggets are off of back-to-back losses at Sacramento and at the Clippers. Could that possibly interest you?
Yeah, it does. I want to see the splits. But yes, it does. Looks like Houston and Denver. Denver's public. Not surprised. Okay.
Figures.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not loving that, to be honest with you. I think we should pivot. I think we should talk about some weekend stuff.
Okay.
For today.
Fair.
Goots, let's run the weekend craft sesh. Let's do the 5 guys. Hop in. Why not us? Take us to lunch. Five guys. We already crafted up a little 5 guyserman for the sprints, Javon. Why not get in the lab here and find a 5 guys for the weekend? NFL, maybe we could put in an Army-Navy square. God forbid there is one even up. I don't even know.
Yeah,
Chad even mentioned maybe even putting in some college basketball if needed. But we might not need to. We have some good angles this weekend in the NFL that I think we could kind of lean into here in targets. And also we can run a little bit over on BTL today and get this stuff done. So we don't have to close it out in 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. But yeah, let's get all this shit done, guys. We've got some big time weekend parlays and prize picks entries. We got to craft up stat. Okay. Javon, we could go with a couple of these angles that we've already talked about for the 5 guys, like Chris Godwin this weekend. I feel like that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
We should put him in that puppy, right? How did you want to target him this weekend?
I still think it's yards there.
Okay.
This line opened at 40, I think, 40.5. It's at 48.5.
Jeez.
Which is really interesting for a guy who didn't catch a single ball last week.
Yeah, that is extremely interesting.
And I don't think that that reception square was up last week either.
Okay.
Of course, he had none.
Yep. And Chow, yes, we will do the squad ride. Do not worry.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time.
Crabs, you got to watch the Savannah Bananas in Norfolk when they come. It's kind of far for me, dude. I don't know if I'm going to drive that far for the Savannah Bananas.
Yes, chat, there is surge just a couple minutes later today.
That would be honestly good content going to the Savannah Bananas game, but I don't know if I want to make that drive for that team.
Yeah. All
right, Chris Godwin, more than 48.5 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Okay. What about CeeDee Lamb?
I mean, you're not going to get an argument out of me.
I wouldn't mind taking a CeeDee Lamb receiving yard square. Or his receptions if you wanted to go that way, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to keep up with him. I think he's going to break at least 1 or 2 and have an absolute hell of a day on Sunday night. Boots on ground.
I'm surprised you didn't want to target Dak.
We could pivot and target Dak.
I know he's been obviously really good, but seeing a 300-yard line against the Eagles is still kind of wild.
Well, we're going to need an over. I would not mind pivoting to Dak if you prefer that.
I mean, you can it's your meat on table play, so you can take
no meat.
Well, no, it is meat. Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys is meat on table.
Yeah, so I'm saying you can pick how to attack it, of course. But
would you want to take his pass yards or his pass plus rush yards? Meat. Pass yards / pass plus rush yards. What are we thinking?
Cool with just pass.
Just
Unless
keep
you
it
think
simple.
He's going to be Lamar.
No, I don't think he's going to be Lamar. I think he's going to be Tom Brady in the pocket. Poised, successful, dominating, best team in the NFC East, way better than Jalen Hurts. That's what I'm expecting. Okay. Yeah, Goots is glued. He knows what's up. He knows Dak Prescott's about to go off. Let's take that.
Hey, speaking of glued goods, I would not mind taking something maybe Gus Edwards related.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Gus collab?
Well, you can put your head in your goods. Is it Gus or is it Keaton?
We putting Dak in there, right?
Yeah, pass yards.
Got it. All right, let me look at these Gus lines.
Look at Gus and look at Mitchell. And use your little Goots Ravens brain and tell us who's getting the rock.
Because I think the Ravens are going to run for a collective 200.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, I kind of. Ooh, Keaton's being higher than Gus is weird. If this game strip goes like you're talking about, Javon, and it's pretty much a blowout, I do think it's a Keaton game. I think he gets more. Yeah.
I'm kind of with you, Goots. His rushing yards is higher than Gus.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Gus will get the goal line carries. That's what's been happening. Gus has been getting the touchdowns. I mean, he's like top 10 in the league in touchdowns.
Gus is the touchdown mooch.
Check these squares Bert's saying.
I think it could be a Keaton game for sure.
Mitchell's at 9.5 rush attempts. Gus is at 9.5 rush attempts.
Gus is going to run in the tackles, and Aaron Donald standing right there. So I think it might be a kind of a stretch game.
That's a great point.
Good.
Fantastic point.
You don't want to run into Aaron Donald, do you?
You don't want to run in Aaron Donald.
No, you don't. Okay. Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
We could even just square up and take that for catch. It wouldn't be squaring up, I guess, but
I want yards because Keaton Mitchell is going to be explosive. Because the Rams also, if you get to the second level, they can't tackle. So like he could easily break a very long run.
Yeah, I don't mind his rush attempts, but I think I do like yards better.
Okay. Let's run it. I'm in.
Man.
Okay. What about that Dobbs pick? I feel like that has to go in.
Yeah, it's kind of mandatory. We have to do it. Goes without saying.
Okay. I really like that Jared Goff less than passing tutties, but if you really want to go Jay Jettis, I'm not going to stop you.
I mean, we don't have to double up on Vikings in that entry.
Do you like Jared Goff less than 1.5 passing tutties?
I don't mind it. I would rather take something like Montgomery or Gibbs related.
No.
If you're doing that. Again, it's your square. I'm just telling you what I think.
No, change how you think.
What if I told you there's an interesting square on the board for David Montgomery?
Give me that. Receiving yards.
You know what that reminds me of? I don't even know what it reminds me of because it's been a couple of different guys that have been like this on the board, but 5.5 receiving yards is weird. I know he had a couple. I think he had one long catch against them the first time, but coming off of a goose egg and -1 in this last 2 games, I couldn't tell you why that's on the board.
He had a 22 piece against the Bears.
I know he did.
Okay. We got an Alec 0706 subby. Let's fucking go, Alec. You're my guy.
Alec.
Appreciate that, my man. 14 months. Love to see it. Okay. Do we want to go Jay Jettis? I like that angle from you. Maybe we don't force with this Lions game.
I mean, I want to pick one of the Vikings, whether it's the pick square or the Jay Jettis.
You don't want to do 2?
I don't know if I want to do 2.
Okay, then we got to keep Dobbs in there.
Yeah, I feel like we got to.
Okay.
Dude, why is Brock Wright on the board?
Sure he can.
He's up for half a reception.
That's weird.
Yeah, maybe it's not that weird.
Lamar's up for 1.5 pass rush receiving tutties.
I can't get myself to take that square again, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, don't take that.
Dude, respectfully, I don't know if I despise a square more on the NFL board than that square.
Okay.
That just has never brought the coins home.
Jack, give me a freaking square. Or else we're going with freaking Dave Montgomery receiving yards.
That would be piss. What else do we have here? What other games?
What about
do you
Ritter?
wanna target?
What about Ritter?
Ritter what?
We're already targeting Godwin.
Ritter pass attempts. Take a look at that.
Wow, that's high. See, I just don't want to bet on Arthur Smith though.
Yeah.
That's literally what that is. That's an Arthur Smith bet. It's not a Desmond Ritter bet.
And we're already targeting this game with Godwin. I feel like we can find something else.
Ooh, Bert saying Gibbs under receiving, greened out.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Huh.
That is a low line for Gibbs against. I know like the Bears give a decent amount of receiving yards up to running backs, but the fact that they have him up at that low line and they have David Montgomery up after he hasn't been getting targeted for shit on the air.
And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say you want to go back to Demont after seeing that, but I think we fade Gibbs.
We want to fade Gibbs?
Mm-hmm.
We might have a fake Otani bang.
Dude.
Got ruled out. Is that true?
Big Afro kid, Otani Blue Jays. Big Afro kid. You better hope that he is in a Blue Jays uniform when I check Twitter or you're getting banned. You better hope.
Did Pacheco actually just get ruled out? Brock, is that a potential real bang?
I don't see shit, man.
I don't either. Okay. Let's take Gibbs less than receiving yards.
I feel like we're forcing too hard in this game.
Dudes.
Just going to say it. Myself included.
Pacheco is out.
That could change some things. As far as the Chiefs go, and that game goes.
All right. Well, I think maybe we go. You don't want to take Desmond Ritter pass attempts because you don't want to bet on the coach.
Yeah, I really don't.
Okay.
Really don't.
Okay. Quit trying to get too cute at Crabs. Trust your goats. You're right. Let's just take all the best players in the league overs every week like Trent. That'll work.
Crazy stray.
Yeah, that was a crazy stray. Sorry, Trent.
So with Pacheco out, let me introduce a potential other square. What about Mahomes pass attempts?
I was about to say, is Jalen Hurts throwing a pick?
Ooh. I can't take primetime pick squares, man. They just never go well.
I mean, I think they're going to be losing that game too and coming back, so that would be a W game script too.
It's a stupid strain, though.
Yeah, sorry, Trent. That was a stupid strat. Let's go Mahomes pass attempts. They're going to be coming back against the Bills, struggling, a lot of points, a lot of passes, a lot of possessions for the Chiefs when they're down in that game. No star running back. It's not like they're going to fucking play Clyde Edwards-Helaire as much as they've been playing Pacheco. Just watch the guy run. He sucks.
Yeah.
They can't. And it's high.
It's high.
I'm in on that. That could be the last Infinity Stone.
I like that.
I'm in. Chat, listen to this five guys or let me know what you think about it, okay? We've got Chris Godwin, more than 48.5 receiving yards. Javon's POD. Love that square. We got Dak Prescott, more than 301.5 pass yards. That shit's high as heck, and he's going to maybe put up a 400 piece. Keaton Mitchell, more than 44.5 rush yards. Goots POD. Josh Dobbs, under half an interception. Look at the chart. Grow up. Patrick Mahomes, over 35.5 pass attempts. L game script. They're going to be coming back. No star running back against the Bills. They're going to need to be passing.
Yeah.
He's going to be hucking the ball.
I'm in.
I like that five guys.
I do like that five guys.
Wags likes it. Okay.
Making me
Devin, we could try to do an A team and B team. I promise we'll get some sort of entry out there today. We'll definitely do an A team and B team tomorrow with all those college games, though.
Yeah,
okay.
gotta get in line.
We'll get an entry out there today, though. Let's pivot. Goots, take me to the Hail Mary. Show me that damn graphic.
A lot of bad bitches in the building. Amen. A couple real niggas in the building. Amen. I'm finna kill niggas in the building. Amen. I tell her way to 50 bottles and she
All right, Javon. Hail Mary, 5 plays, 5 winners. Why not us?
Yep.
Why not us? We've got a lot of NFL plays that we like, which is good.
Question before we get there. would we want to fully craft this now, or just the NFL pieces, and then maybe include CBB or ICE come tomorrow?
That's up to chat. Chat, would you guys rather have us craft up a Hail Mary weekend parlay with multiple sports for Saturday and Sunday? Or would you rather us keep it to just football and do one right now? Weekend or now? Drop those 2 words in chat. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. You guys have 30 seconds. Go, go, go. Weekend or now? And yes, we will do a squad ride today. Do not worry. All right. I mean,
It's pretty split.
Literally,
Split
literally 50-50. Literally could not be more 50-50. If you added them all up, it would be exactly 50%.
Should we run a poll?
I don't know. Yeah, run a poll. Run a 2-minute poll, Goots, if you can, please. Thanks, Beast. Poll that beach. All right, we'll pull that bitch. And while we pull that, Javon and I will get our thoughts together for a squad ride today. Okay? And we're going to have Trent take over here for Surge Stream in about 5 minutes. All right, squad? So stick around. Your GOAT, your king, will be on the way shortly. He's getting prepped for Surge. Okay? Javon, squad ride for today. I would like to throw the Wizard spread in there or that over in that game.
I named it 5 guys. My bad, chat. You know what I mean.
That's okay, Goots. Don't stress about it. Wizards or the over in that game?
You really want to bet on the Wizards?
Or third option, no.
You really want to bet on the Wizards?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Oh, Lord. Maybe we can put it in. It's not like we have that many other options.
Let's put them in there. Washington plus 9.5. Sure. People are talking about Golden State in chat. What are your thoughts on Golden State tonight, Javon?
The Warriors. I don't know if I want to fade OKC after they just let the whole world down last week or last game against the Rockets. They're the most public team of all time.
Okay. Sure.
I don't disagree with the spot, though.
You want to take Utah late night against the Clippers? That might be our best fucking NBA play.
I feel like you kind of have to.
Utah plus 7.5 late nights, chat.
One I could just live with.
Okay. What about... Give me a hockey play, man. I need one. Come on.
I mean, you could take that over in Oilers Wild. That would be my only angle. Because I think the Oilers are going to win. So, if we're taking any value play instead of just taking the over, because Oilers overs are definitely more on the obvious side. Maybe it's like Oilers and reg, but I hate in reg unless I have to.
You like that over 6.5?
Yeah.
Okay. I could get behind that. The juice is loose on that over as well.
Fleury Skinner in that.
I got a college basketball angle I didn't talk about much, but I will right now. Everyone's on UIC today.
I saw that. I kind of like Jacksonville State.
So do I. But instead of maybe taking Jacksonville State is 1-7 to the over this season. They're one of the slowest teams in college basketball. That's how they play. That's what they do. I don't know what UIC does. But
I play pretty slow too.
But I know that total moving up from 128.5 to 131.5 is fucking weird. It's weird. I noticed that last night. It's even higher this morning. I think that's pretty freaking weird that total is that high, especially when we've seen Jackson State hit 5 straight unders in a row. And UIC, I mean, they're coming off of a couple unders as well. They're 2-5 to the under or to the over, this year. So pretty weird that total's moving up after we've seen, multiple unders from both these squads and totals that are either around the number now or lower. So I'd like to throw my hat in the ring with that nasty play. And looks like we got multiple sports winning the poll. So we will craft up that entry and post it tomorrow or tonight. Probably tomorrow, though. Okay. Javon?
I don't know if I have a preference between the over or just Jacksonville State.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go the over. Let's see what people are betting. I just think that over is the weirdest college basketball bet on the board today.
I don't disagree.
It's weird. The
Between
splits.
I feel pretty similarly to that one as I do the Duquesne one. Not as weird, but I'm saying like similar read, similar lines.
Don't let Duquesne get swept under the rug either.
Yeah.
You want to put both those overs in there?
I'm down.
All right. St. Peter's, Duquesne over 132. And we've got UIC and Jacksonville State over 131. All right, chat. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Today's slate is moose shit, so bet accordingly, but it's a squad ride, so lock in. Click the right buttons as always. Hurry up, go, 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 go. We only have 2 minutes. Hurry up, go, go, go. Need to lock in for the squad ride. 5 plays, 5 winners. Wizards plus 9.5, sure. Utah plus 7.5. Minnesota, Edmonton over 6.5 on the ice. And then 2 college plays, St. Peter's, Duquesne over, and UIC, Jackson State over.
Not gonna lie, the more that I now look and start to come to the light about this Oilers game, the more I do like that over.
Ooh.
Because I completely forgot. Somebody reminded me in chat. Skinner was the goalie that I faded, which I really wasn't fading him, but in that Canes game where he was lights out and they won 6-1. So he's on back-to-back games here where he's been absolutely ridiculous, and now he's playing a team who just got shut out last night. So in theory, Wild team total over would be a system play, which I look at it now, and the Wild team total is minus 140 to the over 2.5, which is kind of right on that cutoff of weird line, but I still don't think they win the game. It's like the Oilers are going to have to score 4 to win the game, which would equate to over.
Okay. Chat, some good questions coming in hot. We got the Surge stream starting up here in 1 minute. Army-Navy reads. Give me the over. I'll do it.
Don't do it.
Give me it.
Don't do it.
Give me the over.
Don't do it.
I'll take it. We're seeing it get bumped up from 27.5 to 28. Ooh, that could be the difference, folks. Give me the over in the Army-Navy game and give me the midshipmen, but that is extremely biased. I will tell you right now it is. I'm taking the midshipmen every game. All right. Javon. What else is in here? We've got Was Always Crabs 3-piece from last night. Yes, real exclusiveness. Was always. Let's run something like that back today. All right, we'll post you guys a prize pick slip on the Book of BTL Twitter this afternoon for tonight to take the edge off, and we'll drop plenty of plays, content, cheat sheets, graphics over the weekend down here in Dallas, boots on ground. And make sure you guys tap in Sunday night. We're all at the game at Jerry World. Okay.
W. Burt Nugget over under 6.5 in games after one team coming off a shutout, 17 and 25 to the under. 9 goals in each of the last 2 in that situation. Which I wonder what it is, because the Wild, I don't like backing teams off of a back-to-back, but I wonder what that situation is. Team coming off a back-to-back. I'm going to have to look into that, but
okay.
I love that.
All right, chat. Well, we're locking in that over on the ice for the squad rides. Have to go back to the ice. It's what we're comfortable. It's what we know. It's what Javon's been killing it with on knock on woods. Let's go back to the ice, and we'll catch you guys at the counter after Minnesota, Edmonton over 6.5 cashes. Okay. Chat, stick around. Surge stream is starting up right now. Trent's going to take you through the slate and give you guys some winners, and we'll catch you guys on here next week. Same time, same place. We'll be soon. Okay. Check Book at BTL Twitter for all the plays, all the action over the weekend.
Let's do it.
All right, squad. We'll catch you guys.